Hello everyone! Almost about to start the TIMOCOM LiveTalk. Today's topic, a European transport giant is keen on Scandinavia. The transport giant is Girteka Logistics, and we have the Director of Strategic Partnerships in the chair. You viewers can post questions on Facebook during the live talk, which we will then try to answer. Looking forward to your questions. Welcome to the TIMOCOM live talk, and welcome to our guest, Christian Kroos Mortensen.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you to TIMOCOM and you and all the viewers for joining us here in Girteka Logistics headquarters in Vilnius, Lithuania. I think I have something like 300 colleagues sitting just around us, so we are in the midst of the heart of our operations.
Christian, most in our industry today know Girteka Logistics, and I think many also know you. But for those who maybe not know so much about you, could you tell a bit about yourself? I am for one wondering, what is a Dane doing in a transport giant like Girteka Logistics?
I'm a humble Danish guy who likes Anton Berg marzipan bread. I joined Lithuania 13 years ago, and I joined Girteka 4 years ago. I have never worked in another transport company and doubt I will. The pleasure of being here, the challenges, the excitement is simply too big.
Great. You told me, as we were speaking before, your Girteka career started with somebody special calling you. Can you elaborate a bit on this as well?
Sure. Back in end of 2014, I was privileged to have the chairman of Girteka Logistics call me and ask for some advice on specific situation. And I think that was a conversation we started back then, which is not yet finished. But we simply talked so much that eventually advice turned into employment, and interest in Girteka Logistics turned into love for working here and respect for this man and for all my other colleagues.
So a small Lithuanian love story, so
I would say so, yes.
Okay. How much did you know about Girteka Logistics before committing to the position? For example, there was a kind of negative past of Girteka Logistics, but how much did you know about their past? What were your thoughts before starting?
I had absolutely no hesitation in joining the company. I'm not sure that there was a negative past, but there certainly was an opportunity to communicate better and to share our inside view of the company with everybody outside. And of course, that's why we have a conversation here today, to allow people to see us from the inside.
Exactly. You as a Danish person, is there a big difference between the Danish way, the Lithuanian way, cultural or maybe strategic?
I'm not sure. I was living in the US for 11 years. I was living in Cyprus a little bit, back in Denmark, and now 13 years in Lithuania. So I'm not sure exactly what is my experience or culture. And certainly Girteka's culture is very international. Just looking in front of me now here, I think 7 or 8 nationalities my eyes can rest on. So even here in the office, we are a very international crew.
Okay, right. Getting a bit onto Girteka's first strategic moves. One of the first ones was towards Norway. Why actually Norway? Why not, for example, Denmark?
Girteka Logistics was established in the early 1990s when Lithuania had regained its independence after the breakup of the Soviet Union. That meant there was no private industry. And if you graduate university in the early 1990s in Lithuania, the best job you could get was to start your own company. Mm-hmm. That's the success story of Girteka Logistics, starting with 1 truck and 0 employees in 1996, and more or less getting twice as big every single 3 years. We're still continuing on that track and basically developing the company. Okay,
and one of the developments in Norway and also in Denmark, you have a company that you bought in Norway, I think back in 15-14, and also one in Denmark. Can you tell a bit about those companies?
So historically the company started with business between Russia and European Union, and slowly when we had size and appetite for more growth, as you rightfully said, we went to Norway first. All our growth and all our numbers you will see in public are based on organic growth. Along the way we did sort of make 2 small acquisitions, one in Trondheim in Norway, which is ThermoMarks, and a few years later Thermotransit in Denmark, which is a little bit bigger. But those companies are still run quite independently, although 100% owned by Girteka Logistics.
Ah, yeah, okay. Going back to Norway a bit, I think in the beginning of this year, I read that in the Norwegian media that the Norwegian Road Haulage Association and Girteka have joined forces against EU cabotage regulations. Can you elaborate a bit on this point as well?
Sure. For us as a company, the two topics that are really on top of the mind right now is the EU mobility package and Brexit. And one of the subjects inside the EU mobility package is exactly that, cabotage. The current regulation, which is some 5 years old, is allowing companies like us to make 3 domestic cabotage trips after international delivery within 7 days. One of the basis of Girteka Logistics is full truckload international transportation. But one of the few countries where we really need to do cabotage is Norway, due to heavy export from the north and a lot of import from into the south. And you can't drive that many 500 or more kilometers empty. It's not economically, and it certainly is not good for environment. Right. So there we have to use cabotage trips, but I fully align my thoughts with NLF that we only need 3 trips in 7 days. We don't need unlimited.
Okay, right. And also in that relation, we've heard or read quite a lot about Girteka, what you want to do for the drivers, what you want to change for the drivers. For example, on the weekly rest in the cabins and also about salaries. Can you also tell us a bit about this? What is the brief status? Where are you here?
Sure. Our entire industry, starting from Germany and spreading around in countries, is really challenged by a lack of truck drivers. We started 2018 by employing 8,000 truck drivers. By August, we had turned that into 10,000, and today it's around 11,000 truck drivers. 3 years from now, we plan to employ 20,000 truck drivers. In a market where we are challenged by a lack of truck driver and we want to shine like a star, we have to give really the best possible workplaces, the best equipment, the best employment conditions, and that includes proper places to sleep, nice new trucks, and orderly terms and conditions for your employment.
Okay. You mentioned earlier, as we were also talking, about you having done some contracts with Norwegian hostels to also secure the drivers. That is correct, right?
Sure. Yeah. We did sign an agreement about 11 months ago with high hostels in Norway for our drivers to sleep in these hostels, and today this agreement is absolutely fully working, and I think both high hostels and our drivers, and at least us as a company, we're very satisfied with this solution.
So happy drivers, I suppose.
I think the growth of truck drivers shows that we are above average in how we treat our drivers.
Great. Okay. For the viewers, if you have any questions at all for Christian, I am sure he's up for it. It could be about what Christian also already mentioned on the driver challenges, on the changes, but also anything you would like to ask. So Christian, another question from me. I have 3 words for you now. Unique selling points. I'm pretty sure most in the industry would say that the unique selling points for Girteka would be the lower prices. But I suppose that can't be all. What are exactly Girteka's unique selling points?
All those fantastic people you see sitting behind me now. 13,000 employees, powered for growth, powered for increasing capacity to the market at competitive prices. People might think that we are a low-cost company. We are not. We have absolutely zero interest in being low-priced. We have every interest to get as high a price as absolutely possible.
Okay, so you don't sell yourself as low-cost, you sell yourself as a profitable, developing company.
We sell ourselves on the quality of all the people behind me and the quality of the service we deliver.
Okay, great. We have a question now, I see, from Tommaso. He says, and thank you, Tommaso, for your question. In your opinion, Christian, who is going to be the biggest competitor for Girteka in the upcoming years? And which will be the most difficult challenge in the European transport market?
Hi, Tommaso. Thanks for that really good question. For me, it's clear that in Europe, something like 80% of our industry is built by truck companies with less than 10 trucks, and perhaps only 1% has more than 50 trucks. And I think that's our greatest challenge, that it's such a dispersed business with not enough consolidation. So what I wish actually is to get more competition. I wish to see many more trucking companies with thousands and thousands of trucks. This will help to further professionalize our industry. So the fact that we now have 5,600 trucks or something like that, and soon we'll have 10,000, we are standing alone, and we need more better and more professional companies to compete with.
Okay. I can see we have also another question from Neringa. Thank you, Neringa, for your question. Hi, Christian. Tell us, please, more about the people who surround you. Now you also mentioned them. What are they doing day to day?
Sure. Just here we are sitting in the middle of our, let's call it, sales department. So here we typically have teams of 5 to 10 people in a team with a team leader. And then you have typically 5 teams in a division. And they work with all our clients. So they are sitting now, receiving orders from the clients, processing and finding out how to best allocate our capacity in Europe, Scandinavia, to and from Russia, and so on. So these are well-trained, dedicated, and highly motivated colleagues that I'm proud to work with. Personally, my desk is the one sitting right there, and I'm really happy not to sit in a glass room by myself, but to sit in the heart of the office amongst, I would say, very happy colleagues.
That's great. Another question from me. 25% of Girteka's turnover is made in Scandinavia, correct? But you are expanding, and which markets are going to be or already in your focus?
I believe that our focus right now is Germany. As you saw not so long time ago, we registered our first trucks on German plates. Germany, I think, is somewhere near the heart, lungs, and brains of the European economy. And we are really working with a lot of business to and from Germany, but have a lot of clients who are requesting domestic full truckload capacity from our company. And that's why we established ourselves in Germany, is simply following our clients.
So the customers came to you from Germany?
Yes.
So it was a logical step, so to speak?
It was a requested step.
A requested step, that's great. I also must say I'm following you on LinkedIn, of course, and you did post something earlier this month about France. What was that about?
That was actually a unique experience where we were invited by the French National Railroad, SNCF, to help inaugurate a new intermodal line from the northern part of Italy to Calais. And of course, Girteka Logistics' key competence is to work with clients. We are a very client-centric company, and to understand clients' need of transportation from A to B, that's what we are good at. We are open-minded. It could be on a truck on a road, on a truck on a train, or on a ferry.
So every multimodal.
And that's why I was in France.
That's why. But is France perhaps also a market which you are going to expand to have more focus on, like Germany?
I would think France is always a good market to join. What and when our plans will be for France, I'm not sure about yet. We're really busy working in Germany at this time.
So maybe having a look at our TIMOCOM transport barometer, which next markets?
Oh, I like TIMOCOM barometer,
yeah,
and so
great.
does our clients.
That's great, thank you. I'm going a bit back to something. We had a preview video for this live talk. You mentioned something very ambitious about Amazon and about IKEA. You want to go in that direction. Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that?
Girteka Logistics typically has doubled in size every 3 years for the last 20 plus years. And last year we had organic growth of 30%. This year we have organic growth of 40%. And sometimes it's difficult to understand why are we doing that. So we kind of coined the phrase that what Amazon is for e-commerce, what IKEA is for furniture, Girteka Logistics will be for road transport. and then immediately you have a clear picture. Where is our mission? Where is our strategy? And what are we trying to achieve?
So you want to become one of the biggest, one of the leading, if you're not.
I thought we already are.
You think you already are? Great, okay. We have another question I see from Heidi Bodensjö.
Hi Heidi.
If there had not been an embargo of Russia, would Girteka still had started up in Europe and Scandinavia?
I don't know. I was not here when it happened. I'm pretty sure yes.
Okay. And Heidi has another question. Thank you for your question, by the way, Heidi. We see big forwarders with 3,500 trucks having frequent problems with police controls. They say it's inevitable with so many trucks on the roads. Girteka have more than 5,000 and hardly any problems. So what are you doing right and what are the others doing wrong?
Sure. I'm not sure what other people are doing wrong. I know what we are doing right. And it's focus on quality every single day inside the company. I will give you an example. As you see behind you, there is a board on the wall, a white square board. Every single aspect of Girteka logistics, we work in lean. In this room here with 300 people, in the garage, in the warehouse, every single day on a team level, there is a 10 minutes Asaichi lean meeting. After that, the team leaders meet together with the division manager. After that, division manager with business unit head. And at 10:15, everybody, top management, meet with our CEO. And it's focused on detail, detail, and detail every single day. And one of those things is exactly how to educate. Simple thing. Truck drivers, when you have 10,000 or 11,000 truck drivers, they must know how to use the tachograph. We educate people, all our drivers know how to use the tachograph, and thereby we avoid small fines or simple errors due to, let's say, wrongful usage. So a lot of education into our drivers and a low turnover. Low turnover of drivers also means easier to educate.
Okay, right. Thank you, Heidi. I hope that was enough answer from Christian for you. We have another question from Ice-T. Christian, he says, or he, I'm very sorry, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Congratulations for getting to top 100 digital innovations in Financial Times. How does Girteka manage to get there?
Invest a lot of money into good IT solutions. One of the big investments we did this year was to put a tablet, a highly intelligent Transix tablet, into every single truck. Every single driver has a paired smartphone, and even on the phone in my back pocket, I can see tachograph data of every single truck, resting hour of every single driver, and I even can write a message to him from my mobile. I can see fuel consumption, speed in real time. These kind of high-tech solutions are a major investments, but in our world, it's a major investment you can't live without. And I'm proud on behalf of the company and all my colleagues that the Financial Times recognized this achievement in a very traditional industry.
Okay. I hope that was enough answer on your question. We also have another one. I see it's going really actively on here on Facebook from Carl Holmqvist.
I remember Carl. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl. So, last year at the Remington Road Transport Symposium in Malmö, Girteka had seen little effects from the Brexit vote. Has anything changed today?
Carl, I would say that UK, to and from UK, is not one of our major markets. It's an important market, but compared to Spain, Italy, Germany, it's a little bit less. We go to and from UK. We are used to crossing borders every day, to and from Russia, to and from Ukraine, to and from Belarus. I think the UK will be more similar to another one, which is Norway, which also you have to cross customs every time you cross the border. So in our company, we have drivers, we have people, we have IT systems which truly understand how to cross borders. What we want to make sure is that we get paid to do it.
Okay, good. Now you also mentioned about the digital things and all you have on the mobile, the possibility to message. I can remember you mentioned, I think yesterday, and also I saw on LinkedIn, of course, that you were among the digital champions, I think awarded by the Financial Times. Can you tell a bit about more, what are you doing digitally that you earned this reward or award?
It's a name of the game going forward, is to have control of your IT, your movements, and IT is a way forward to reduce empty kilometers and to ensure optimal usage. Road transport is a little bit like a hotel or an airline. You don't want to have a hotel with empty beds at night, and you don't want to fly your airplane with empty seats. You want 99.99% occupancy. And Girteka Logistics Trucks is exactly the same. We want full capacity, and the only way we can do that is by smart, intelligent employees backed with even better IT systems.
Oh, right, okay. Another question from me. Where can we meet you next, Christian? Where will the Girteka promotion tour take you?
Tomorrow morning, 5:55 boarding, Vilnius, Copenhagen, Copenhagen, Zurich, back on Friday. So if anybody wants to have a cup of coffee in Zurich in the next few days, I'm happy to do so.
So dear viewers, that's up to you. If you want to meet Christian, you just heard Copenhagen or Zurich.
And thanks for all the questions.
Exactly, thank you very much. But I think if we don't have any other questions from Facebook, then I have more for you, of course. In your personal opinion, do you think Girteka would be where they are today without you?
Where would I be without Girteka?
Yeah,
that's
maybe
a real
that's also,
question.
yeah, maybe that's a question.
I certainly wouldn't have so many fun challenges, opportunities like this. So I think a good marriage is when everybody's equally happy. And I'm really proud to be part of this family, to be here with all these colleagues.
Great, okay. And also Girteka in the future, if we have a small look into the crystal ball, where are Girteka going to be in the near future?
In the near future, it's very clear, like I said earlier, what Amazon is for e-commerce, what IKEA is for furniture, Girteka will be for road transport. That means in end of 2021, we should have something around 10,000 trucks and 20,000 drivers, and maybe 24,000 employees in total.
Oh, wow.
So this is really what we are working hard on every day to ensure. And our focus is only on that. Beyond that, I'm sure there will be a higher growth goal, but for now, this is full power on that.
Great. Speaking about full power, I think I heard or read something about you last year, about Girteka last year buying or at least ordering a Tesla truck. Is that also going to be something that we will see in the future, Girteka fleet of entire Tesla trucks?
I believe we have to focus on CO2 emissions, which means we have to first and foremost reduce empty kilometers. And that's why we invest so much into IT. Second, then we have to use as much as possible intermodal solutions, trains and ferries. Finally, then we have to invest into the best environmentally correct equipment and trucks, solar-powered panels on the Frigo trailers, LNG trucks, and electric trucks. Whether the first physical fully electrical truck we will have is from Volvo, DAF, Mercedes or Tesla, I can't predict because it's still not possible to go to the shop and buy one.
Yeah, okay.
So I challenge producers to give us one as soon as possible, because we certainly would like it, and our clients even more so.
But you just bought one truck?
We ordered one Tesla truck, but nobody in Europe have one left yet.
So you were the first ones to?
We were the first ones to order one.
Okay. And when do you are going to have it here?
I can't predict.
You can't predict that, okay. Okay, no problem. Also about you now talking about the liquefied natural gas, doing all this change for the trucks as well. How is that going to be for you? Because I think I read somewhere that it's going to be a bit of a problem to refuel for these kind of trucks. Is it just, I think, in some different countries, or is it here in Lithuania that's going to be
generally
used?
You can say we have conducted a real test with Volvo FH LNG trucks. So it's all doable. It's especially doable if you do distribution. that you are starting and finishing same place every day. It's a little bit more difficult, needs more planning when you are going from A, B, C, D, E, F internationally around the world. But it's doable. Now what we need to do is to understand and calculate how to get the cost of truck per day down to a similar level as a diesel truck. But we are being helped by regulation. In Germany now, for domestic LNG trucks, it looks somewhere that there will be maybe 10 or 15,000 euros rebate from the government, and potentially there will be no road tolls, no MAUT.
Okay.
And this, I think, is what will drive the business case for usage of LNG truck, and we have our eyes on this every single day.
Okay, right. Also talking about innovations, will we see drones, Girteka drones in the future?
No.
No.
I doubt it. We are carrying freight, which is much too heavy for drones, at least while I still work here before my retirement, I think.
So maybe in the future, but not in the near future at least?
No, it will take a long time.
Dear Christian, we are so slowly coming to an end of this very, very, very interesting live talk. Any last words, any last insights that you would like to share with the viewers?
I would say that, okay, that's an interesting one.
That's for later.
For me, I would say follow Girteka Logistics. We try to be an open and transparent company and have, say, many messages to share. So look at our website, at our LinkedIn and our Facebook, and you will see the development of our company. And if you need a job, call us, because we need more people to power up this engine.
Dear viewers, you heard Christian. I am very sure we will see a lot more of you, and also, of course, Girteka Logistics in the future. I would just like to say to the viewers, thank you very much for your questions and also for watching. One last thing for you. You mentioned in the beginning of this live talk Anton Berg, and this is Danish sweets, Danish chocolates.
I'm surprised. I will take it home and share it with the family.
So, also with H.C. Andersen. Here you go. And
Special edition.
Thank you very much for participating. Dear viewers, this was the live talk today. Until the next live talk, I will see you then. Bye.